bioenzymes was something that came up. Also, like the mentors that I told you, that I met a lot of people in my sustainability workshops. So there's a huge movement in India. They found a community. So I got I got the cloth diapers from this brand called. They had an extremely active support group. So all
Uh-huh.
the moms who were using their reusable diapers have
Uh-huh.
become this community and champions of
How nice.
selling and helping mothers to deal
Mm.
with issues with cloth diapers. 45 days, 2 months. So I just couldn't believe it. I was actually excited with the
Nice.
process. I was
Mm.
excited about how nature can do this.
Right. When you're upcycling something like which is waste, how does it work money wise and maintenance? Like, is it more economical than buying something new? Or
I will say it would cost.
hi, Sumithra. Welcome to the Eco Shiros podcast and congratulations to join the Mothers Club.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pallavi, for having me. It's
My
wonderful
pleasure.
what you're doing, and I'm so excited to be a part of this. I'm
Thank
excited to be a part of the Mothers Club.
I know, yeah. Sumitra, first I saw you on, I noticed you on Instagram and I was so impressed with your work on bioenzymes, how you were rescuing the orange peels from restaurants, making bioenzymes, filling them in glass bottles, which was waste for a company, right?
Yes.
Like creating a complete uh, circular economy. Very impressed. And of course, we'll discuss more on this in a few moments. But before that, I would like to ask you, were you always living such an eco friendly lifestyle? And if not, how and when did you start?
Right. So definitely, I don't think it was always this way. There was definitely a moment where I decided that, this is not okay. We are aware about a problem and we are seeing the problem every day. We cannot always move the problem away from us and say that it's the government's job to find solutions, or anybody else's job to do this. Why should I do it? I mean, we can keep asking those questions and we will never get answers to those questions. So it became imperative for me that I do something for myself and my family first, for complaining and moving it to neighbors or a government's dump yard and saying it's not my problem. I think in terms of values, it was always there, because the way I was brought up by my parents and my mom's, usually her outlook towards everything in life was about reusing. Like
Hmm.
nothing would just get thrown out like that to the dustbin with, just a single use. It would never
Yeah,
happen.
I can relate to it.
Yeah, I think because of that culture, it was a bit shocking for me when I came to Dubai and I saw how much was getting just thrown about and how everything came in packaging, in plastic
Hmm.
packaging and single use packaging. It wasn't, I felt it wasn't the case in India, or I was not so much close to that because I wasn't the one managing the house back home, right? It was my mom.
Right, right.
She would deal with all of that. But once I was here after I was married, then I had to deal with it. And then I saw it up close that I was responsible for this, like directly responsible for this. And I have the total control to stop this or to continue with it. Like, it doesn't matter. So I think the time for it. So I believe it's always in our thoughts. A lot of people have it in our thoughts, but the time for it came when I quit my like a normal job doing. I
Uh-huh.
was doing commercial interiors and I was very busy, very happy. But I stopped that, and when I stopped that, then I had time to think and reflect.
Mm.
So that is when I took some time to change each habit of mine. So
Mm.
first, I think I started from composting.
Wow.
Interestingly, it so happened that I went to India for a friend's wedding,
Uh-huh.
She had an eco-friendly wedding. So she had a wedding in a garden.
Mm.
So and all the decoration was all with hay and sticks and stones,
Nice.
and the water was served in terracotta glasses.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
it was stored in pots. Uh,
Okay.
so the meal also was very traditional and local food. So she had done a fabulous job. So there was a workshop. So there was a workshop. A lady was talking about composting, and
Uh-huh.
that was my first introduction to composting. And to
Nice.
see that peels, fruit peels and vegetable peels can actually look like soil after
Yeah,
2 months, 45 days, 2 months. So I just couldn't believe it. I
I
just thought
know.
it was
Yeah.
killing me. And so I was actually excited with the process. I was
Mm.
excited about how nature can do this.
Right.
And just as a curious person, I wanted to do it. I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. This is so beautiful. This is such a beautiful thing. And I wanted to experience that. That
Nice.
is how I started composting. And
Okay.
I think I just picked up an old paint bucket, washed it, put some holes into it. I mean, being an architect, I was very hands-on, so I
Yeah,
could
I
really
know. Yeah.
build something on my own. So I just drilled some holes on it, and I started composting. And I used to keep in touch with the person who took the workshop. So I would ask her, is this okay? Is it wet? Is it dry? And what else should I add? And she helped me through the journey. And I had compost at the end of it after 2 months.
Wonderful. Yeah.
And yeah, there were worms, but I wasn't very, the maggots do turn up if it's too wet.
Yeah.
But I was not, disgusted or anything with it. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, oh, wow, from where did these come from?
Yeah.
And then they are gone after a couple of days. You add dry matter and they're gone. So I was very excited. I think that stayed with me. That journey and that beautiful feeling really stayed with me. I think up close, I sort of fell in love with nature. I think that is where for me everything is. It's
Nice.
not personally just to replace one with another, but I really fell in love with all the processes and the
Yeah.
biodiversity and how one being supports another and how
Absolutely. Yeah. Like
um,
I started composting just recently, and as you said, it's so interesting to see how these worms come. I mean, they just, I don't know from where they come into the compost. They break down the peels, Actually, these worms were crawling out of the compost, and I saw birds coming and eating them. So it's like
yeah,
a beautiful ecosystem. Like,
yeah.
something coming out of the compost, these worms are the food for these birds. And initially, even I was a bit like paranoid. Oh my God, what are these worms? And, how do I get rid of them? But when I saw these birds eating, it was beautiful to see how this ecosystem works. It's wonderful. Like the next day, there were no worms. So I think they were all eaten. At least not outside. I'm sure it was in the bin.
So, I mean, that I think observing nature then became something that I was obsessed about. And of course, still am wowed and totally obsessed about. And this is my number one favorite hobby. I can just be on the desert or a forest by myself and I can totally spend
Nice.
hours together. So that is how, I mean, when I sort of really started relating to how nature works and how we are a part and how what we do affects nature and the animals and the seasons, the seeds. I mean, I was totally just trying to figure out all the nitty gritties of how life works. I was reading books that would talk about how a tree feels and how they connect with each other,
Mm.
talk to each other, and how they warn the animals, the birds, and all that. Then, so when that process happened, I think. I just couldn't follow the same wasteful lifestyle, or I would say ignorant sort of living that we just toss things away. So the real journey began that time to
So
look
when
for
was this? Like how long ago?
this. This has been now almost 5 years now.
Nice.
Has
Okay.
been 5 years.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, and to I think to follow my heart, I also did a workshop in Auroville. I did a sustainability workshop in Auroville in Pondicherry. It's in India.
Nice. Okay.
It was for a week, so it covered all topics from energy to waste management to soil regeneration, water, and systems, other systems, and it really covered many aspects of sustainable living.
Right.
So that sort of gave me a good insight to what is the problem in every sector, like with the economy, with the energy, what is the problem and what is the solution and what is the path to that solution. With the waste management, where does the solution lie? Like, and what can we do as individuals, and approaching children who are, I think, much easier to grasp
Yeah.
and act than us. So that gave me a really good footing, I would
Nice.
say, and a lot of people whom I can always get in touch with to ask about, okay, what next and what I can do about this, and to sort of mentor the whole process.
Yeah.
And after that, I went to a village. I stayed in a very minimal setup for about 3 months, and I was doing, of course, architecture. I was working on bamboo and building and designing from bamboo.
Interesting.
But on the side, I also had like my own vegetable patch, and I was growing
This was
vegetables.
when you were studying architecture or
No,
recently?
no, this was in the middle of my career, bang in the middle of my career.
Oh,
Where
nice.
yeah, so with that commercial job, then I had this time to
Yeah.
explore, to become. I mean, there was always a calling in the middle of me that saying that I don't think this is the right thing to do. I don't think this is the right thing to do. There must be more. I know. I think I just took that break and I followed my heart and I did this for some time. So I think that had a really, really deep, lasting impact on me.
Nice.
And I knew it at that instant that I could totally live minimally, and I could live in connection with nature, and I wouldn't miss my luxurious or comfort life. It was just an add on. It can
That's
be there,
beautiful. Yeah.
but I didn't need it. I can totally be happy with just myself and all of these elements around me and the most wonderful people to discuss and to, sort of grow as a person. So
Wonderful.
that's what I sort of realized. So then when I came back to Dubai, then I started to replace one by one all the habits. And
Good.
so we had a party because I had come back home after like 6 months, I think. And then the first thing I replaced with was tissues. So what we did was, so party I think is a big thing. Like, oh my God, there's going to be so much waste. So thankfully by that time I had already started composting. So I kept 3 bins. So all the compostable waste in one bin, and then all the plates go into another bin. And we got plates, reusable plates for everybody. And so that would get washed. And the spoons and cutlery, everything was reusable. And the tissues I replaced with handkerchiefs. People could take them away if they want. If they're using it for, blowing their nose or something, then of course they can take it with them. Otherwise, if it's just wiping their hand, then they can reuse it until the end of the party, and then they could leave it in a basket and I could wash them and reuse them.
Nice.
Sort of started like that, and then went to the supermarket, carried my own bags, got vegetables in my own
So
bags.
each
And
you went one step
it was
at a
one
time,
one after
one
another.
after the other.
I would go to the supermarket and be like, okay, I want. Then it's only then I realized that there is a bulk section in the supermarket. Because I'm looking for it. I'm looking for alternatives. I'm looking for solutions. I'm looking for what can be different. What can I do differently? And that's. It's only then that I saw the world that was different. I could
Nice.
do it
Yeah.
easily,
Yeah.
available, and it was approachable. But I think that vision, that expansion has to be there. Like all things, if you look for something, then it comes to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it was one step at a time. And I think the most challenging thing for me was talking to people. I mean, in the supermarket, I
Mm.
would just give my bags and say, can you put it in this? Can you? So it was very embarrassing. I think the first couple of times I would be really stressed and tense because there is a lot to handle. There are
Yeah.
bags with them, and then they have to fill that bag. They have to put the bill in another piece of paper, and
Correct.
then take that and put it into my cart. So, I was a
Now,
bit.
thankfully, many of them, I mean, I think almost all are aware and they cooperate. Like when you take your own bags, it's become a norm now.
Yeah, I mean, even then, actually, nobody has said no to me. I never
Ah,
felt
good.
anybody said no to me for anything, even filling cheese in my own container.
Yeah. So coming to the bioenzymes, when and how did you start learning and making bioenzymes? What made you start this project of making bioenzymes at a little bigger scale, right? And how did this project come to fruition?
So bioenzyme was a replacement, right? So like I was finding out the alternatives for everything. I mean everything in our house you look at, then we're just trying to replace
Yeah.
one by one by one by one.
Right.
So when I had come to cleaner, so plastic, like I told you, the supermarket thing was easy. The first thing, the second thing that I did. Then after that, when I thought about the cleaners, they are pollution all the way from manufacturing to using, and in between all the people who come in contact with it, and such high health risks. And in the village where I lived, there was a chemical factory in close proximity.
Uh-huh.
I personally knew people who
Mm.
would work there.
Mm.
That's their place of work. And I could see on their body marks
Oh, okay.
from the factory. So there would definitely be a spill, a too close contact, something that's not maintained. The quality or the safety standards are so poor that
Yeah.
they face the brunt of it, and it was real. Like I mean, they had stories to tell about what happened and how they got these marks,
Mm.
and how they've developed certain issues with their health over a period of time. And they know it's because of this factory, but that's their source of living. I mean, that's their
Mm.
wages. That's where they earn their bread. So they really couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
What they had to do to
Mm.
sustain themselves and their family. So, of course, I looked for alternatives to it. Bioenzymes was something that came up. Also, like the mentors that I told you, that I met a lot of people in my sustainability workshops. So, there's a huge movement in India where a lot of them have started to do this at home.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they found a community. So different women or I mean men, I mean anybody, different humans in different locations, they started to make it. They cater to their locality. So I met a lady who started this whole string of events. She taught me how to make it, and I saw her in her home doing it, processing it. I thought it was a great idea. The lady who started to propagate this, she was a chemical engineer by background. So she had done a few tests, and in a technical way, she had done those tests. She was really happy with the results, efficacy tests, and all that. She had done it in a very simple way, and she was very happy with the results. And I was really, excited to meet her. Like sometimes I think when you meet people and you feel their vibe and their passion, and then
Yeah.
you know for sure they are behind something that's truly working.
Mm.
And that is how I found it extremely strange, just like composting. I was like, what, how is this possible? Just fruit peels and water, and how would this give me a very efficient cleaner?
Yeah.
I thought she was, and in my heart I know she's right, but in my mind I was thinking, I don't think this is true. Ooh. So let me try it. Let me go try it for myself.
Yeah.
So I just came. I mean, when I started, I just did it. I did one batch with a 1 liter yogurt tub. I took a 1 liter yogurt tub and I just started to do it. I waited 1 month and then it looked very innocent. It just looked like a yellow colored liquid.
Yeah.
And then I used it. I will not say that I knew the difference, to be
Okay.
honest, because I mean, the first couple of uses, I think I'm not sure like what's going on. And in Dubai, it's not like we have extremely dirty floors
Yeah.
or anything. Most
Right.
things are about sand and dust.
Right.
So I did couple of batches. I think for 3 4 months I did few batches, and I was continuing to use it. And then also using the pulpy enzyme for really harder stains, like in the toilet and in the
Oh,
hob,
okay. Mm-hmm.
hose, and the stainless steel sink.
Okay.
So I think this is when it started to look different, because these were dirty areas of the house: the hob, the stainless steel sink, the chimney, the toilet. So these were extremely dirty areas, and this I saw a big difference. Like it definitely worked. It
Mm.
definitely did cleaning really well. It smelled fermented, but that was for a few minutes. It would leave. The smell would leave after some ventilation, and
Mm.
then the house would smell like normal of all
Yeah.
the things that you have in your house,
Right.
and not of any other strong fragrance.
Yeah.
So of course fragrances are extremely dangerous, toxic
Yeah.
for us, phthalates that we don't want to breathe in, and they cause cancer, even breathing issues, coughs, different people, different. So it worked, and then I started to make, of course, different proportions, mixing the bioenzyme with different proportions, dilutions with water. Then I just thought, so I was living in an apartment at that point, and then we had a group that was recycling. So the Dulsco van used to come every week, and then we used to give away our recyclables to them. So I just sort of asked them in the group, hey, you know what, I'm making these cleaners, and would you want to try?
Oh,
So
nice.
sort of excited a couple of ladies, and so I sold a few bottles to them in the beginning. Then, I mean, I think then I was very excited because I could see that people were interested in it, and this was something that people did not know about in Dubai. I really thought this is a great idea to sort of spread the word.
Yeah, I think you brought this concept into,
Yeah.
it was now it's many people know about it, but thanks to
Yes.
you, you made it famous.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, so I thought, okay, I should talk about this because this is something that people don't know about, and it's really easy to make. Even if they cannot make, then I can sell it to them, and they
Yeah.
can at least have an opportunity to replace what they have,
Mm,
what the the chemicals in their house.
very nice.
So then I went to, of course, the next band was my friends. I was in that mindset at that point of time. Then I saw the opportunity to sell in markets. So that's
Mm.
when I thought, okay, I should scale it up a little bit more. I started to make 100 liters. All of you guys whom I started to follow, and we started to share thoughts, the product with you guys. And I went to the market. I did pretty well.
Did you easily get those orange peels from restaurants? Like, did they easily give it to
Um,
you, or it was?
No, no, no. Honestly, no. The first, I approached a juice shop. They said they cannot give me the peels because it is against their policy.
Oh, why? Why
Uh,
so? Because it's waste, right? They're going to throw it off.
yes, but they perhaps don't segregate it in their kitchens.
Ah,
So if
okay.
they have to give it to me, then they will have to segregate it because I was using fruit peels. I was
Right.
using orange peels for the
Hmm.
bioenzyme. And they're probably making juices from various fruits, and they were
Yeah.
mixing everything. So they have to give it to me, they'll have to make a certain effort.
Right. Yeah.
They refuse that, and it will be the same thing with the restaurants. They
Yeah.
wouldn't be interested as well. But then I found a company that was also a startup. They
Hmm.
were an orange juice company, which was
Ah.
really great. So they were an orange juice company, and they were making juice only from orange peels, and they were a startup. They had just started. I think they had few machines across Dubai, 4 5 machines. They were looking for an opportunity as well to give away the orange peels to some good use,
Nice.
because they were generating about 200 to 300 kgs of
Oh
orange
my
peel
God.
waste in a day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were looking for somebody to do this. So it was a nice collaboration. So I discussed the product with them, gave them a few samples, and I was sourcing the orange peels from them. So that really worked out well.
Nice. Very nice. And how
Because
did you get to that company where you got the glass bottles from?
actually, that was not a company, that was a friend. So
Ah, okay.
yeah, so I was packaging the bioenzymes in the beginning in reused in plastic bottles, like in
Okay.
Coca-Cola bottles and
Right.
water bottles and
Yeah.
all that. Even milk cans and all. I was packaging it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But then in one of my workshops, I had somebody attend the bioenzyme workshop,
Mm-hmm.
and she offered that they had these crates and crates of bottled water, which
Uh-huh.
was which was, I don't know. I mean, I think it was expired or something, and then they got
Uh-huh.
it from Spinneys.
Okay.
They were drinking the water, and the bottles looked so pretty, and they didn't know what to do with it. They didn't throw it. So
Okay.
she was an eco enthusiast as well. So
Oh,
she
okay.
had stored them,
Oh,
and she
nice.
said, "Do you want it?" So I said, "Yeah," because during that time in my workshops, I was asking people to give me bottles.
Nice. Okay.
I definitely I don't consume that much, right? So how
Of
would I sell
course.
the
Yeah.
products? So I was encouraging everybody to give me their plastic bottles in a specific size,
Hmm.
and they would bring bottles. So this friend got these glass bottles. So they
Nice.
were
Okay.
clean, and that's when I thought, okay, this is brilliant. So this can be a good packaging
Yeah.
option.
Right.
So that was really nice. I was feeling really good about that I could reuse those bottles as well. So
Mm.
the product was from waste, and then the bottles are reused,
Yeah.
and they're effective. They and
Perfect.
actually the awesome part of bioenzyme is that the bacteria, they don't remove the oxygen in a room. So the other cleaners, what happens is they sort of decrease the oxygen level in a room,
Oh,
because they have the other chemical compounds which are released in the air when you use them,
yes.
and they react with the oxygen in the air, and then they turn them into other compounds, right, which are not really
Okay.
good for us to inhale.
Yeah.
Oxygen in the room reduces with the other products,
Okay.
the usual commercial chemical products. But what the bioenzyme does is it only the stains get stuck to the bacteria. So the
Hmm.
bacteria has an open. I mean, I'm not very technical, so maybe I cannot explain it in a very technical way. But how it really works is it attracts the proteins, basically react with the stains, and then they break them down into smaller particles, and
Mm-hmm.
then what at the result, they come out with just water and carbon dioxide after that
Okay.
chemical reaction of breaking down the molecule into smaller particles. The
Uh-huh.
resulting is water and carbon dioxide.
Okay.
So they don't react with the oxygen to make other compounds, so the oxygen level
Hmm.
in the room remains the same. So
That's
I think,
interesting. I didn't know that. Hmm.
yeah, so this is something we will not feel, I guess. People know how, and this is just how that works.
Hmm.
So it leaves also the good bacteria in the space, so it doesn't attack. So per se, how a chemical compound, like a chemical product, would work is remove everything,
Hmm.
right? I don't care.
Even the
You're
good
useful.
bacteria.
Yes, you're useful. You're not useful. I don't care. I don't care whoever you are. Just get the hell out of my way. So that's
Yeah.
how the
Yeah.
products work. But the bioenzyme, it's only removing the stains and the dust, and it's only reacting with those kind of things,
Hmm.
and not touching the parts which don't need cleaning.
Right.
So they do remove the viruses and the germs and all that, and they leave the good bacteria there. So essentially, your home is in a very healthy microbial balance.
Hmm.
So
Nice.
you could compare this to our stomachs, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the microbes that are digesting our food. So they are good, just like they need to be there
Yeah.
to clean up to digest your food and for you to absorb that energy. So same way in the house, those microbes need to be there. So, so you have a living house.
Right. Very
So
nice.
I think bioenzymes are fantastic, fantastic.
Wonderful. Yeah, actually. Uh,
Yeah.
So now that you're a mother, and being a mother myself, I know how difficult it is to take care of a newborn and a toddler. So how are you navigating this journey of your eco-friendly lifestyle after being a mother? What are the challenges? How are you coping with it?
Frankly, I was really, really scared. When I was pregnant, I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I was prepared to use reusable diapers
Hmm.
from Cotton.
Yeah.
Since my baby came home, I had my long goats and I had my reusable cloth diapers. We had my mom's old saris stitched into quilts and
Yeah.
mattresses, and I had made a cotton stuffed mattress for him, which is hard
Uh-huh.
because anywhere you go, you will only get the polyester fiber
Yeah, absolutely.
stuffed into mattresses and pillows. But since I was working with the interiors industry, I knew an
Yeah.
upholstery person who could stuff it with cotton
Nice.
and make a mattress for my baby. And wet wipes, I think this is again another thing that people are used to doing it. But since I already didn't have any tissues or wet wipes in the house, so traditionally what we've been doing also
Yeah.
is to use my dad's old dhotis torn into
Okay.
cloth strips, and we use that.
Okay.
So that was what my I think my mom used for me. So it was a no-brainer actually. So we continue to do that.
How
We use
nice.
old fabric torn
Hmm.
into pieces and use
But when
that.
you are traveling, how do you navigate this situation of not using wet wipes, especially when the kid has to be
Yeah,
cleaned up?
yeah. So I think even when I'm traveling, if I'm in Dubai and if I'm going around, then every mall has a baby changing space,
Hmm.
and I just carry this cloth with me and I wipe him,
Hmm.
and then I have a wet bag. So I put it's definitely not cotton because it would absorb it, but it's a reusable bag that I
Okay.
would put the dirty diaper in and also the cloth, and I would
Okay.
just carry that back home and I would wash it
Acha. Okay.
same way.
Nice.
So it's only if we are traveling, say, for 3 4 days
Hmm.
to another place where
Right.
I cannot wash my diapers.
Right.
So that is when I would use a disposable diaper.
Okay.
I accepted it that it's okay
Yeah. Yeah.
because I think it's okay to be imperfect. Like when you're
Of
doing
course. Yeah.
95% of what is possible for you,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and you take the 5% liberty on yourself not to be so hard.
And frankly speaking, at times it's not very practical. That time you have to let go, and
Yeah, I mean, wherever, if there is a washing machine, like if you would check into an Airbnb or something, I mean, he's just 1 year now, so I haven't even gone to an Airbnb. But if there is a place that we would go to like that, where there's a washing machine, and if the climate is good where I can put it out to dry, then definitely I would do that.
right. Yeah.
But if I am going to a place that doesn't have a washing machine and it's a cold place where it would not dry, then I'm just, I mean, I cannot practice
Yes.
the reusable diapers.
Right.
So apart from this, and then, yeah, quilts. I mean, I think I didn't buy anything for him. I was very clear that I didn't want to bring up my baby dependent on toys. I mean, I
Yes.
felt he has to be let free and explore the world,
Yeah.
explore what's in the house, and sort of learn to play with what is there, and not
Nice.
be dependent on too many accessories or things from outside. And I mean, this would, I think, spiral. I don't know, as a new mother, I'm not sure, but then maybe it would spiral down to them continuously asking for an external something to occupy themselves at a later time.
I'm
And I,
sure until they don't go to school, they are happy with the cardboard packaging or the utensils in the kitchen. anything in the house because that's what excites them, not the toys. I mean, yeah, of course, if you give them something colorful, it's attractive to them. But yeah, but they're mostly happy with all these stuff at home, utensils, pen, whatever you get at home. Everything is, they're inquisitive about it. Texture, form, everything is new for them. So that should.
Absolutely. And they need something new every 5 minutes. So
Yeah,
what's
absolutely.
better than just giving them what's already in the house? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I did that. I mean, mostly I didn't get much. I got a car seat which was secondhand. I think
Nice.
it is more than sufficient. There are so many people
Yeah.
selling or even giving out baby stuff for free,
Yeah.
and babies grow out of things so
So
fast
fast. Yeah.
that all of these things are almost brand new. I mean, I think 10 people can use it and the same
Yeah.
product until
Actually,
you call it trash.
I know. Yeah.
So that is what I did. I got his car seat secondhand, and then I had someone who wanted to give away their play gym.
Hmm.
I said, okay, I'm happy to take it. So I got a play gym like that, and all of his clothes were all gifted by friends.
Right.
And a lot of his toys were also given to me by my nephews and nieces. They had sort of grown out of it.
Yeah.
So I
Hmm.
borrowed those things. So mostly whatever I had got was secondhand, which now
Hmm.
is already grown out and I have passed it on to another person.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know really, it's not that difficult. I didn't feel, I mean, I was
Hmm.
very paranoid in the beginning, but the journey as such was not that difficult. It was
Very
very easy.
nice.
There isn't much that they really needed day or anything like that. Of course, they grow out of it. So, that is the thing that you have to either you have to get it second hand, use it for this short period of time, and then give it away to somebody who needs it.
Yeah.
So,
So
I
for the
think.
cloth diapers, are they as effective as the disposable diapers?
So, cloth diapers are a skill by themselves. I'll say
Okay.
this.
Uh-huh.
They are not the same for
Okay.
sure.
Uh-huh.
So, the disposable diapers, I think you can put them on and you can forget about it. There will be no leaks for at least
Mm.
3-4 hours. You don't have to be conscious about it. But cloth diapers can take in 2 to 3 Ps.
Okay. Mm.
So sometimes your baby could pee a lot,
Mm.
sometimes pee a lot less.
Yes, yes.
So they could be full sometimes in even 2 hours, two and a
Yeah,
half hours,
right.
3 hours, 3.5 hours. So you never really know when they will have a wet diaper,
Correct.
and their pants will get wet as well.
Mm. Mm.
So I think so this took me some time to figure out, and also there is a fit with the cloth diapers. You need to fit them properly. If
Okay.
you don't focus on how they fit,
Yeah.
then there will definitely be a leak,
Okay.
because it's at the end of the day it's cloth which is
Mm.
touching the skin, and if that
Right.
doesn't seal your skin properly around the thighs, then there's
Yeah.
going to be a gap, and
Yeah.
through that the liquid is going to leak, the urine
Right.
is going to leak.
Yeah.
So this is something that I developed
Okay.
over a period. So I got the cloth diapers from this brand called Super Bottoms.
Okay.
So they had an extremely active support group. So all
Uh-huh.
the moms who were using their reusable diapers have
Uh-huh.
become this community and champions
How
of
nice.
selling and helping mothers to deal
Mm.
with issues with cloth diapers. So
Wonderful.
they have somebody on their support group any time of the day,
Mm.
on WhatsApp, on a Zoom call, on WhatsApp call, on bottom, whatever medium you want, to show you a demo, to walk you through the process, to help you learn where you could be wrong and what you could do. And of
Very
course,
nice.
there is a different washing routine to it, which also
Okay.
seems new in the beginning.
Right.
But all of these things you learn in the journey, and then you figure out that if I do it this way, and then this is the maximum the diaper can take, these many hours.
Yeah.
And if you're going to a cold place, then definitely they're going to pee a lot more, and you will have to change the diaper much earlier than if it was in your home where I don't put AC that much. So, it's still
Yeah.
warm.
Absolutely.
So I think it is just you just develop this sense and the skill, and then when you're comfortable, you go prepared. You go with two extra diapers and two extra pants, and
Right. Mm.
then you change them. I mean, it's not such a big deal. I think.
Wonderful. That's nice. That will be very helpful for new mothers. I'm sure these reusable diapers are not, they are much efficient than what we used to use in the olden times, like the piece of cloth we just tie.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
doesn't work. Like that is very laborious. You have to keep washing so many.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, these you can still go out with your child wearing cloth diapers. It's not like
Nice.
you are at home and you cannot go
Right.
anywhere. It's not like that.
Yeah.
They have a waterproof layer, and they have
Wonderful.
organic cotton filling inside.
Yeah.
So you can totally go out with your baby just like you would normally do.
Nice.
And I felt my baby had a lot less rashes.
Yeah, I know.
Diaper rash.
Yes.
Because you would know that when they are wet or when they are pooped, then it's not like you forget about it.
Yes.
You have this in your head that, oh, I need to check his diaper, I need to ensure that he's clean, and you would figure out a pattern after a couple of months when they would poop. So I would remove the diaper immediately after he poops instead of leaving it on. So that would cause the rash, right? So I think
Yes. Yes.
he had a lot less rashes. So that was fantastic.
And even the disposable diapers, the material also causes rash, right? Like
Yes. So I mean,
that
when
also.
I travel and when I cannot use my reusable diapers, then I used to get the compostable bamboo diapers or organic cotton. So there were several options in the
Okay.
market. Definitely more expensive than the standard diaper. That
Okay. But there is an availability of
there are a lot of options
Okay.
over here, right here in UAE. There are like many options you can choose from.
Okay.
And they were really good. They were really soft on the baby skin, and I didn't
Nice.
have any rashes from them either.
Wonderful.
So I think the normal diapers that you'd go for, the cheapest one that you go for, yeah, I mean, they would definitely
The
cause
synthetic ones, the synthetic.
the synthetic ones, the petrochemical based ones. So
Yeah.
they would definitely cause more havoc.
Right. Yeah.
But if you go for a more sensitive option, the disposable ones, then they're okay. And
Good.
for a short period of time, 4 days, 1 week, it's all right. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, we can.
That's right. Yeah. So you are an architect and an interior designer. And your new project, the Bobbin Project, where you provide sustainable interiors to your clients. Would love to know more about it. Like, what do you do and how do you help your clients with?
Yeah. So, I mean, I said my journey started 5 years back, and then I was dabbling with bioenzymes. I had totally given up my career of being an architect and interior designer, and I was pursuing the bioenzymes. Somewhere I felt that the interior design industry, also needs I wanted to interject also my ideals into that industry, because I felt that there is a problem, there is a huge challenge, and I had not addressed it. I had just left the industry.
Yeah, I know.
So when I had grown comfortable with all my lifestyle changes, and things were more or less organized, I didn't need so much time to do those anymore. They were on auto mode. They would just happen, like automatic recycling, irrigation, composting, all of that. And so I started to explore what can be possible with interiors. So I extended the same reuse, recycle, repurpose, these thoughts onto that. I started with changing existing furniture. So if you have a piece of furniture that you don't like the look of it, or it's got a certain defect, or it has a broken leg, or you don't like the fabric if it's a sofa, chair, then you can repair all of this.
Ah,
You can change the look, you can change the upholstery, you can fix the broken parts, you can change some of the hardware if it's worn out, you can change the hardware. So you can sort of repair it and you can fit it into your house in as a new piece.
nice.
So you do not throw this into the landfill, but you do something else with it, and then you can fit it into your house.
Right.
That is how I started this concept. And the Bobbin, this name came to me because when I was doing my house and I was looking for side tables.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to be in a Jebel Ali free zone. I was in Jebel Ali, and there was this factory right opposite where I had a meeting. And then I had this factory that had these bobbins just thrown about on the road. Literally, there were a few
Oh,
bobbins lying around on the road, some
okay.
inside their yard, and I was like, "Oh
What?
wow, this looks like a great side table." So I
Nice.
was looking again. The thing is, I was looking for options of
Yeah.
what it could be, and then this emerged, and I felt okay. This looks like a great thing to use. So I checked with the factory. Can I take this? They said, yeah, sure. You can take a couple of pieces. So I took that, and I actually started from there, like
Yeah.
taking a waste again, starting with a waste product, and then working on it and making it into a usable product. It started from there. So I just call myself the Bobbin Project, because
Nice.
the bobbin is basically a spool where
Okay.
the cables are they are kept in the spools, and then after the cables are used up, the bobbin is or the spool
Thrown
is.
away. Okay. Mm. And
So
what is it made of? It's wooden or?
it's made of wood. It's made
Okay.
of plywood or solid wood. So that is what
Okay.
it's made of. It's quite sturdy,
Mm-hmm.
and usually the wood waste is incinerated, for burning.
Ah.
But the bobbins could not be used for that also, because they have a lot of metal parts in them,
Mm.
hold them together. So they
Right.
cannot just be thrown into a factory for incineration. So they were just, the only way to really use the spools is to give it to a cable manufacturing company so they can reuse the spools.
Okay. Mm.
But I think closing the loop is always the most difficult, because each company is doing their own thing,
Yeah.
and they're not really talking to another company to close the loop.
Right.
So that there was a gap there, and that's where I stepped in, and I took these bobbins and I made them into pieces of furniture. And I think that the shape was it's circular, so it embodies the ethos of circular economy.
Nice. Yeah.
And also, I imagine it to be something like a center table where people can congregate around it.
Mm.
Again, a feeling of community. So, I mean, I had all these thoughts with the Bobbin, and that's why I thought symbolically I could just call my company the Bobbin. Uh,
Nice.
it's a project. It's a project in progress, and it's
Okay.
always going to be a project where continuously we are looking for what the solution is and where is the problem and how to solve those.
Very nice. So
Yeah.
how I wanted to ask you, when you're upcycling something like which is waste, how does it work money wise and maintenance? Like, is it more economical than buying something new, or because like I wanted to know those aspects. How does it work?
I will say it would cost the same.
Okay.
It is definitely not cheaper than what you would buy new from the store, because when I bring something and I have to repair it, there are logistic costs of
Yeah.
getting that and then delivering that back. And
But
then
is it easy to maintain that material? It's not.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yes, of
Okay.
course. I mean, definitely.
Ah, good.
I
Nice.
mean, the paints that I use are also non-VOC, zero VOC,
Yes. Yeah.
low
Very
VOC
nice.
paints, and they are. I mean, your piece of furniture will have a very artistic, a very handmade appeal.
Yes.
So I think you will treat all your handmade pieces of jewelry or clothes with care. So
Yes.
that same care extends to the furniture in terms of you cannot just get a knife and just cut your table and then expect the paint is going to stay. No,
Right,
it's not
right,
good.
right. Right, right.
Right? So some basic maintenance things like that, but otherwise you can use it like any other normal piece of furniture and they will last.
Very nice, very nice. That's nice. And of course, it's going to be so unique, yeah. And
Yeah,
not
I mean,
something which
that
you'll
is
find conventionally in the market. So it's going to be very
yes.
unique.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, the more artsy you want the piece of furniture to be, I think you're going to be paying more because there is more
Yes.
artwork
Yes,
involved and more patience and time involved from an artist. So definitely,
absolutely.
it's not going to be the same price in that sense.
Right.
But it's going to be something so unique that you will carry it with you. You will not trash it.
Mm.
So that is
Yes.
also the idea that you convert this trash to treasure
Yeah.
by giving it a sense of a value for this product, which
Right.
it previously lacked.
Right. Very nice. It's such
So,
a beautiful initiative. Very nice. I wish
yeah,
you all the
so
best for it.
thank you. So, I mean, just want to add to this that I was really proud of what I did with this
Yeah.
one center table
Uh-huh.
that, my client, she just didn't want it. She hated it because she had had it for 10 years. It was dark wood. It was so heavy.
Okay.
Done with it totally. And
Uh-huh.
she was moving into a new house which was facing the beach.
Okay.
So I was very upset because I didn't want to throw this piece of furniture. It was solid. It was solid piece of furniture and there was nothing wrong with it.
Um,
No repairs, nothing. So I what I did was I collaborated with an artist and epoxy artist, and then we made an epoxy finish on it with
uh-huh.
like it looks like a beach on the
Wow.
top, and then we changed the color of the furniture to white, and then now
Nice.
it's such an art piece in her house. Like it's like the centerpiece in her house, and she would
So
never do it
beautiful.
now. So I was really proud of how it completely changed the look of it, and the
Wow,
value that it
nice.
brought to her house was something out of the world. Like it's one of her best pieces in the house. Like it's an old
Wonderful.
and it changed to like her very valued piece.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's I have actually, if I'm right, even your house is filled with lot of upcycled art and furniture, and it
Yes,
looks beautiful.
yes, yes, yes. Of course, my house was my biggest experiment. As I said,
Experiment. Yeah.
always we experiment with ourselves before we
Yeah,
go out
right.
to the world. So my
Right.
house is still my biggest play.
Yeah. So coming back to composting on Instagram, I saw one of your videos in which you were composting some worn out kitchen rags. So how
Yeah.
did it go? I was like intrigued to know, did it get composted and how long did it take?
Yeah, so this is a very funny story actually. So, I was using these metal paint drums for composting, and I
Uh-huh.
still do. So, after, and the metal corrodes, right? So, after
Uh-huh.
the compost is quite acidic, it leaves the compost tea, and
Yeah.
after some time, it corrodes the bottom of the paint buckets.
Okay.
So, and it, I think, returns the metal to the soil. So, I was trying to protect that, and I had this old dupatta, stole
Uh-huh.
fabric, cotton fabric, and I just folded it and I put it right at the bottom.
Okay.
So, I thought it would protect it a little bit.
Hmm.
At the end of that compost cycle, after 2 months, the
There's no
compost
dupatta.
came, and then there was no cloth. The cloth was gone. I was like, where did it go? And then it hit me that it got composted.
Wow, nice.
So I thought, oh, this is fantastic. So that's from then I started to whatever my rags, whatever I
Hmm.
had, I was done with kitchen cleaning all those
Yeah,
rags. Where else it would go? I mean, so I would
absolutely.
cut them into pieces now and use them as browns now. I
Wow,
dump them
nice.
along with the compost, and yeah, they get composted. They
Oh,
the same time as
great. I need to experiment. But will it work even in a small bin like what we use in our apartments?
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, I
Small
mean,
bin.
yes, yes, of course. Because even
Yeah.
my bag is small, like, I mean, it's a paint
Ah.
bucket. So,
Acha, okay. It's a small one. Because in the video it looked very big, so I thought it was
oh,
a
no, no,
big
no. It
drum.
is, the photos are very deceptive, but no,
Deceptive.
it's a very small bin and can totally go in any. And then even if, I mean, I think I've never seen it again. Whenever I've put fabrics, I've never seen it come back again. But
Wow.
sometimes the t-shirt material could be a bit thick,
Uh-huh.
some thicker material. So maybe you can put them in the next cycle.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I mean, sometimes when I don't have the time to even do that, anyway, my garden has a lot of mulch. I put a lot
Mm,
of dry leaves and everything and leave it as a top covering.
right.
So I just put the fabric as well, half composted into my soil, and it will
Okay.
compost it on its own in its own due course.
Wow, nice.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm okay with that because I
very
think
nice.
it's
Yeah,
lovely.
provided it is biodegradable, like
Yes,
just for
of
the
course.
audience. It shouldn't be
That has
synthetic
to
material.
be a cotton or a
Cotton
hemp or
or a linen or
in
yeah,
exactly any of the natural materials is totally okay. But
nice.
don't
Wonderful.
put polyester, yeah, for the
I
audience.
know.
Don't
Yeah.
because our market is filled with polyester clothes. It's very
Yeah.
hard to shop
Even
into.
even the combination clothes which are made of like
Yes,
60% cotton, 30 what
but
40% polyester, etc.
yeah, or even viscose, all of these fabrics.
Viscose.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, not compost.
Yeah. So does your family cooperate you with all these lifestyle changes and do they follow along with you?
So in the beginning, definitely my husband was not on board. So we are now three people only now. Before it was just me and my husband.
Right, right.
So he was definitely extremely embarrassed
Mhm.
and did not like what I was doing because we were not chucking the trash out every day. We were
Mm.
segregating, and the trash remained in the house for
Mm.
some time until I had the time to recycle it.
Yeah.
So, and the guests had to be given new instructions of where to put their wet waste, how to segregate, where to put the plastic, that there is no dustbin in the house, one single dustbin in the house. So, all of this was a bit frustrating and definitely embarrassing for my husband in the beginning. But I think slowly, even a lot of our friends started to appreciate what I was doing.
Nice.
They started to also change a little bit in their own ways, at least by carrying their own cloth bags to
Mm.
supermarket and not gifting me anything in plastic or not gifting
Mm.
me anything that was unnatural or synthetic.
Right.
So he saw a lot of change in our friends and they were accepting. And I think then slowly he got it. He understood that it's for the right reasons.
Mm.
And I'm really proud that even in my absence, my husband did recycle. He
How
did say,
nice. That's a big win.
he did segregate and he did recycle. And even my maid, she was not, so many maids were unhappy with all my decisions.
Hmm.
It was difficult, but the maid that we have now, she's also grown into it. So she completely has taken over the composting, the bioenzyme.
Nice.
And everybody is on board. I would say right now everybody is on board, and including when we have my parents visiting, my in-laws visiting, also everybody is on board now, and everybody.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So proud of
but,
you.
but they were open to it as well. I will not say it's all my win.
Mm. But I
It just
think
I
it's your
pushed it.
nature. You are adamant and you stick to your. So
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
one thing
Yeah,
I
in
take
the
away
beginning,
from
it
it.
requires a push. You have
Yeah.
to push, and not budge. I
Yeah.
think the same with the kids, right? You have to be consistent. This is what I'm
Mm.
reading now. You have to be consistent. So you
Consistent.
have
Yeah.
to be consistent, and you have to be on the war footing all the time.
Yeah.
And after that, they sort of come into the mold themselves. And then I
Yeah.
think now I give a bit of leeway when I'm not able to control it, or when I don't have
Mm.
bandwidth to think about it now. Sometimes I forget my cup to take
Mm.
to tea
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does happen nowadays, but it's all right. Like now they are in the game, so when I carry the cup, they will have it in the cup. If I don't, then it's all right. So it's a hit
I
and miss now that,
Of
that I have
course.
calmed down a lot.
Nice. See, motherhood changes you, right? You become very patient.
Yes. Patient and flexible. But yeah, I mean, I've just given myself a little bit of leeway because there's a lot to like pack for the baby, and
Yeah.
uh, I cannot have all my hands and legs everywhere. So, okay, I have few wins, I have few losses, but I think slowly I will be able to back on complete track.
That's wonderful. Very nice.
But we also reduced how much we, order or eat out.
Mm,
Reduced all of that. I think with sustainability, that just is a bonus.
yeah.
You stop having junk at home because everything has all the wrong ingredients.
Exactly. And it's actually, as you age, I've noticed your body can't take all that. Like you have to go sustainable with your food. I mean, I'm 42 now, and I can notably find difference when I have junk and, things with all these additives. Everything
Mm.
goes wrong with my hormones. So I think nature automatically tells you that please come back, to the natural ways of eating. Don't
Yeah,
go for it.
that's absolutely right.
So, what is your advice to beginners who want to start transitioning to an eco friendly lifestyle?
I think it's important to have a solid purpose in your heart.
Hmm.
I think don't start with, oh, everything is wrong with the world and I want to change the world, or that I am going to do everything right. Or, I mean, don't try to put yourself in a box where it's suffocating for you.
Hmm.
It'll be nice to have a purpose. Like, why do you want this change?
Yeah.
If you're able to answer that question, then I think that can propel you to go step by step. Uh,
Hmm.
and for each one, that step one will be different. I started with composting, somebody else will start with something else
Hmm.
that's comfortable for them. So, I mean, for me, the biggest driver, like I said, was I fell in love with nature and the processes in nature, and I didn't want to do anything that went against it. So
Right.
that was my reason why I started to do this.
Very
I
nice.
think if you define that purpose, if that is in a very strong place,
Hmm.
then you will be able to calmly change all your habits one at a time. Never do everything all at once, and don't try to punish yourself or be hard on yourself. I think it's okay to have a leeway once in a while and just start small from one thing. If fashion is the closest thing to you, maybe polyester is not suiting with your skin, then start with, okay, what is the alternative to that? And then you can go into the whole sustainable fashion, the revolution, and then maybe do that if that is something that gives you happiness. And then you can move to the other things.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, find your purpose. The purpose is
Beautiful.
what drive you. Like
Hmm.
keep you lit for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with you. Like, unless you have a purpose, you can't really stick to it. Like,
Yes,
it'll be an external force that is, pushing you to do. And when that happens, you can't really be consistent and sustainable in your practices.
exactly. Yes, and peer pressure will eventually people start asking you questions. Why are
Yeah.
you doing this? How does it make a difference to anybody? You're just
Yeah.
one person. You will have all of these negative things which will really bog you down. But
Yes.
if you find your purpose and you're super motivated that nothing bothers you, and this is your answer for everybody who asks you, this is your answer, and then people will not have anything to say because this is just you. You're being you, so they cannot question that.
Perfect. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Sumitra. It was wonderful. I am sure my audience is going to learn so many things from what you have done in your life. Your consistency and the way you live your life has always motivated me. I'm super inspired by your commitment to. And now, when I heard how you evolved, it really makes me appreciate it more, because you actually understood the process, and it's not just going by a fad, or because it's there out in the, you wanted to understand each and every process, how it works, and you were intrigued by how it works. So it's wonderful. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pallavi, for having me. And yeah, I'm so glad, and I hope it inspires more people to just pause and think.
Think. Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.